she was the kind of person where she didn't try to act a certain way or do certain things to fit into a group.
A sweet 16-year-old caught up in a whirlwind high school romance.
We were genuinely happy together.
She, a popular and beloved cheerleader, and he, a college-bound wide receiver. Together, they were the American dream. Until...
I just tried to wake up my daughter for school, and she has no pulse.
She was pale. Her lips were blue.
You formed an opinion about what her cause of death was.
It's a gunshot wound to the head.
And what is her manner of death, sir?
It's a homicide.
The murder fractures this small southern town, leaving investigators to pick up the pieces.
He was holding his head like, I don't know how I got here, I was kidnapped, I don't know what happened, where am I?
What were you thinking in your mind about this story?
I didn't believe it to be true for sure.
What was your first thought?
That Riley was involved in some capacity.
The investigation quickly points in one direction.
So what name did you give the police as to the person that you believe would cause harm to your daughter?
Riley Call.
Soon, his closest friends turn on him, helping police with a sting operation.
I need to get rid of the gun.
With the glove?
I'm gonna throw it into the water. They'll never find it in the river.
But will this teenage heartthrob go from big man on campus to a prison cell?
Am I a suspect in her passing?
Should you be?
This is Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. November 20th, 2016 is just like any other school night. It's a Sunday, and Central High School in Knoxville, Tennessee is coming off a big win. Their football team just had a major playoff victory, and they're one game away from playing in the state championship. On the sidelines cheering would be 16-year-old Emma Walker. She's probably still riding the high of the win as she settles in with her parents for another Sunday night.
Just a normal night?
And then she found ice cream with her dad later that night.
About what time did that happen?
It's between 7 and 8, I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. What time did you go to bed?
Around 10:30.
Everything is normal. Nothing is out of place. But this normal night will be Emma's last. For the following morning, as her mom wakes her up for school, she makes a grim discovery.
I touched her on her legs, tried to wake her up. And normally she wakes up pretty quickly, or will make us, or a grunt or something when I wake her up. And there was no response.
Could you see what was wrong?
I couldn't tell what was wrong.
But investigators will soon learn what happened to Emma.
On November 21, 2016, in the safety and sanctity of her home, she was shot and killed by a gunshot wound to the back of her head, right behind her left ear.
Emma Jane Walker was born on March 20th, 2000. From an early age, Emma was spunky. She had a strong personality and a zest for life.
Emma Walker, what kind of person was she?
Very independent young lady, very curious, empathetic, loved animals. She was the kind of person where she didn't try to act a certain way or do certain things to fit into a group. She was her own person, and also a very stubborn teenager, but very fun-loving and silly.
Okay.
And a good leader.
Her friends and family say she was the light of every room. All she had to do was make a silly face and it could cheer up anyone. And cheer was something she was really passionate about.
What kinds of activities was your daughter Emma involved in?
When she was smaller, she did competitive gymnastics and competitive dance. And then as she entered freshman middle school, she started doing cheer for freshman in high school.
And is that something you encouraged as parents, you and Mark?
Yes, if she was happy doing it, then it was a good thing.
Okay. And when she entered high school, she did that as well?
Yes.
What kind of student was she?
She's an AD student, very good student.
And in high school, you said that were there other activities that she did besides?
She did HOSA, Health and Science. She wanted to be a nurse, so it was an organization that worked towards that.
Any particular type of nurse that she wanted to become?
a NICU nurse.
It's now 2016 and Emma's junior year at Central High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. She has big plans for the future, but for right now, she's still just a kid. And like any other kid on a Friday night, she hangs out with friends. And that's what she was doing on November 18th, 2016, when something strange happens.
We had seen a person down the road who we said was Riley, so she and started to run down there. I didn't want them to go down there alone, so I ran after.
The person was saying that they were kidnapped. Come outside alone if you don't want to see one of your loved ones get hurt.
Okay. And how did she respond to that?
She was shaken. She didn't know what to think of them.
Emma has been receiving a series of weird text messages. The first text she receives is from an unknown number. It says, "Go to your car with your keys at 11:25. Go alone." Emma writes back, "Who is this?" The mystery person replies, "What part of alone wasn't clear?" Emma texts, "Yeah, I'm not, 'cause IDK who this is, LOL." The number texts back, "I don't want to hurt a loved one. I've got someone you love. If you don't comply, I will hurt them. If you tell anyone about this, I'll hurt them still."
We walk back outside and then we see a figure laying down on the ground. I grab her.
Where is that? Where is the figure laying on the ground?
Outside, kind of in the front yard.
Who was it down at the street?
Riley.
In fall 2014, 14-year-old Emma meets William Gall. He goes by his middle name, Riley. And Riley is older. He's a 16-year-old junior, and right away, he catches Emma's gaze. At the time, Riley is dating someone else, but promises to break it off and take Emma to prom. That doesn't happen, but she still can't stop her crush. When Riley does eventually break it off with the other girl, they get together and are inseparable.
We were genuinely happy together.
Friends say this time of the relationship is picture perfect. Emma is a cheerleader, and Riley a wide receiver on the football team.
What did you think of the relationship as it began?
In the first couple months, it was fun. It seemed normal.
At some point, does that change?
Yes.
But as the relationship continues, the high school sweethearts begin to sour. In fall 2016, Riley goes off to Maryville College, just about 30 minutes south of Knoxville. It's close enough that he can still maintain his relationship with Emma, but far enough that the relationship begins to strain.
How would you describe your all's relationship?
It was rocky because her parents didn't care for me at all.
Why is that?
Because of the first time we broke up, I had cheated on her. And her parents never forgave me for that, even when she did. And they never let us have an actual relationship for the remainder of the time we were together. They only let us, I was only allowed to come to her house. We had to stay in the living room and hang out. And we weren't allowed to go on dates or anything like that.
And early on, Emma's friends have a strange feeling about Riley.
The friend group that you had really didn't like Riley. And I think you told maybe detective, you talked to a detective in this case, correct? You told that detective that you all just tolerated Riley because Emma really had feelings for him.
How would you characterize their relationship?
Unhealthy, toxic.
How so? Why?
He was just very controlling.
Even Riley's friends say the same thing.
How would you characterize him in his relationship with Emma?
Controlling. It was a possessive thing.
Okay.
I would often hear him say, whenever else would happen, she's not mine. I can't believe it.
Soon, Emma's family starts to notice something is off with their relationship.
Had you been regular about checking texts and communication?
Yes.
And did you become concerned about those types of things?
Yes.
Tell us why.
Just some of the language and the way that she was spoken to, we didn't feel it was appropriate to speak to anyone like that.
And did you address those concerns with Riley?
Yes.
And how was his attitude towards that?
And we would talk to him, and he would explain he was angry and try to defend himself against it.
Okay. And was he respectful to you?
Face to face, he was respectful to us.
Okay, but would you see something else on the phone?
On phones, it was just angry if we would say no or not let her do something. I felt like some things were not, he didn't respect us as parents. When we said no, we meant no.
Okay. And so what did you do as a result to try and parent your child with regard to her relationship with Riley Galt?
We tried to discourage her from seeing him. Sometimes you have to give and take a little bit. So we would set limits on how and they could see each other.
By October 2016, the limits placed by Emma's parents become even more severe.
We just felt like just the things we were seeing and the way he spoke to her and didn't really respect our rules. We just felt like we needed to be around to monitor the relationship more.
They do still see each other, secretly.
Did you become aware at any point that he was seeing Emma without her parents' knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And was that based on conversations with Riley?
Yes, sir. Yeah. He would talk to me about sneaking into their house, sneaking out of their house, knowing when they would be home, knowing when they wouldn't be home.
Okay. And when he would sneak into their house, how would he get to Sturkey?
Like I said, it depends on where he parked that day, where he needed to park to make sure that it wasn't seen, whether it was the pool or one of us dropping him off or whatever it may be.
This goes on for some time until Emma gets caught.
On October 30th, when they find, when the police call them and say, hey, your 16-year-old daughter's in a car with a 18-year-old male here, can you come pick her up? It's after midnight.
And then it gets even more serious.
Sometimes we would just say, not seeing him a little while. Sometimes we'd take her phone for a while just to cut off some communication. Never for huge long periods of time, but just try to get her to step back and maybe realize this wasn't the healthiest situation to be in for her.
Okay. And did you ever ground her, basically, to
Yes.
keep her at home? When was prior to her death in November of 21? You recall that she was she grounded at that point?
Not at her death, no, but it had been a couple weeks before, yes, she was.
Okay.
We had reached all our limits and trying to get something that worked for her to see the light that this wasn't the best thing for her and not the healthiest thing for her as a person to be in a relationship with him. So we thought maybe that would open her eyes to try to take something she loved, because we couldn't figure out anything else to do.
This marks a turning point for Emma. In early November, she decides to heed her parents' warning and break it off with Riley. On November 14th, 2016, she texts Riley's friend McMillan Siegel, who goes by the nickname Maxie. She tells Maxie she blocked Riley, and days later calls on Maxie for more help. Get your crazy friend back to Maryville and make him stay away, she says. I'm sorry, but he's on some drugs and needs some mental help. One of the last texts Emma ever sends is to Maxie, saying, an IDK, what else to do? From afar, everything seems normal with Riley. He finishes out his first season on Maryville College's football team, playing his last game of the season on November 12th. But those closest to him know something is off.
He was constantly calling kind of our friend group, saying, crying about it.
Literally?
Literally.
Crying as in weeping?
That's what it sounded like.
Okay.
Constantly talking about how sad it was and that he couldn't do it, things of that nature.
He couldn't do what?
I'm assuming break up. And like I said, I don't know the exact what was going on, the communication between them two, but it sounded just couldn't do the breakup.
Couldn't survive the breakup, or couldn't actually implement the breakup?
Couldn't survive it. Said he couldn't see himself without her, that he needed her, things of that nature.
Maxie and other friends even find Riley passed out in his car.
There was empty beer bottles and pill bottles scattered in his car, along with a suicide note. We did not read the suicide note, but it was there.
How did you respond to that? What did you do?
We immediately took him out of the driver's seat, put him in the back seat, and drove him to the hospital across the street.
Okay. And how long did he stay there, if you know?
As far as I know, we checked him in and stayed with him in the hospital until a guardian showed up, which I had called his granddad. His granddad came, some of our coaches came as well, to make sure he's okay, and we had left. From what I can recall, he was only in the hospital for 2-3 days.
Okay. And then he was back on campus?
And he was back on campus.
Did that surprise you?
It did.
But other friends, like Isaac Ewers, tell a different story.
He told me that he attempted to commit suicide. One time I picked him up and he said that it was hydrocodone, but I sat with him and he was absolutely stone cold sober. There was no trace of any kind of hydrocodone or anything.
Meanwhile, Emma spends weeks grounded, all the way from October 30th up until that Friday night in November when she meets up with her friends. That same night, Riley shows up, claiming to have been kidnapped.
Who was it down at the street?
Riley.
What was he doing?
He was pacing back and forth at the road.
Okay. And what else? What was he doing?
Pacing back and forth with his hand on his head, just standing there.
And what did you perceive happened to him based on what he was doing, his pacing and holding his head?
The original thought that maybe he'd been hit or something.
Okay. And did you get close enough to hear what was being said?
Yes, sir.
And what was Riley Gall saying?
He said, I don't know where I am and my head hurts.
Okay. And were their voices normal or raised?
Raised, they seemed upset.
Okay. And what did Emma tell him after that?
I'm tired of stuff like this. I can't do this stuff like this anymore.
And how did he react to that?
He just got more angry and confused.
Okay. And what kinds of things was he saying back to her?
He's saying, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what happened.
Do you remember what the defendant was wearing?
Gray sweatshirt and sweatpants.
But to those closest to Riley, this kidnapping doesn't quite add up.
You folks get a call from Riley.
Yes, sir.
And what was the nature of the call? What was he saying?
It was very scattered, very hectic. There wasn't a lot of information. He just called essentially saying that he had been kidnapped. He had no idea where he was at. He didn't know what he was going to do. He dropped him in Tasco Pines and they called.
Okay. And did you guys ask him to geolocate him or?
Yes, yeah. We said, where are you at? We'll come and get you. It doesn't matter. You know, we wanted to leave you there, essentially. I mean, we knew that this was not really a kidnapping, but
You were going along with it?
No, sir. We told Riley that we were coming to drive up and down Castle Pike until we were flying because we knew it was.
But he was insisting that it was true?
Up until the point we told him that we were coming to drive up and down Castle Pike, at which point he left.
Okay. And so what did you do?
We put on our shoes and within 10 minutes we were driving down the road and that's when Riley pulled up in his car. Less than 10 minutes. I mean, we hung up the phone, put on shoes, walked downstairs, got in the car, and Riley pulled up.
Okay.
At first we were shocked because we just heard that he had been kidnapped less than 10 minutes ago and he didn't know where he was at, and suddenly he pulls up in a car saying, oh, my head hurts, I'll explain everything when we get inside, let's just go inside, let's go inside. And we insist, no, we can talk right here. If you're in danger, we need to go and get help, talk to the police, whoever we need to talk to make sure these people don't pursue you.
Okay, and what happens when you get inside?
Riley proceeds to tell us that he doesn't remember anything and that he was hit over the head, and he asked us to feel this knot on his head.
Okay, does he tell you where he got kidnapped?
No, sir.
Does he tell you who he got kidnapped by?
No, sir.
Does he tell you any details of the kidnapping?
No.
Does he tell you that he'd been to see Emma?
No, sir.
Does he give you any information about this kidnapping?
No, sir.
Other than he was kidnapped?
No.
And so, how did you guys respond to that?
We had already known that this was a fib. We just kept pressing him what Who is it? What were they? What happened? Because obviously we're terrified for him. If this man's been kidnapped, you know, that's my best friend. I don't want any harm to come to him. So we press him until he just sticks with, I don't remember. And at that point it was, I don't remember, over and over and over until we dropped the issue.
Okay. So eventually it just faded away, that he'd been kidnapped?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you never called the police or anything like that, right?
No, sir. We knew it wasn't a real thing.
Okay.
The clock ticks on, moving forward to Sunday, November 20th. That's the night Emma has ice cream with her dad before heading up to bed. During the night, Emma's neighbors report a strange noise.
And as I laid down, that's when I heard 2 gunshots.
Okay. And could you tell, when you say you heard 2 gunshots,
Yeah.
what kind of succession were the gunshots?
Well, I wasn't, counting or anything, because after the first one, I heard the second one, but there was a pause in between the shots.
Okay.
But there were 2, gunshots.
It's the following morning when Emma's family makes the grim discovery.
About 6:15, woke up to my mom screaming.
What was she screaming?
I don't remember exactly what she was screaming, but I just remember hearing her screaming, like, no, and I just hopped out of bed and ran in there and ran into my sister's room where she was.
And tell us what you saw.
My sister was laying down on her bed, face up, and
Did she have covers on?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
What did you observe about her?
She was pale. Her lips were blue, and I knew there was something on the pillow next to her.
What was on the pillow?
I don't know.
What did it look like?
It looked like vomit, but I don't know. That's not what it was.
You know that now?
Yeah.
Did you think it was vomit then?
Yeah.
That vomit Emma's brother describes wasn't vomit at all.
Emma, of course, was deceased in the bed. I noticed that there was a fair amount of what you described as brain matter or gray matter on the pillow beside her head. It was obvious she had a wound to the left side of her head.
And what was going through your mind? What were your thoughts about what had happened?
I didn't know what thing was going on, and I didn't want to believe that something terrible like that happened.
What was your mom doing?
I think she left the room to call 911 at that time.
Did you stay in the bedroom with Emma?
Yeah, I tried to take her pulse, and I didn't feel anything, so.
How'd you try and take her pulse?
On her neck.
Okay. And you didn't feel any? How about her temperature? Did you notice anything about the temperature of her body?
She's cold.
Describe how you saw your daughter that morning.
She was laying on her back. Her tongue was out of her mouth.
Emma's death is quickly ruled a homicide.
In this case, there was an entrance gunshot wound on the left side of the head, just above the left ear. There was no clear exits, it was just an entrance. When the bullet entered the head, it fractured the skull and passed through the brain, causing an injury to the brain. And that would be the mechanism of why she's dead, is that her brain was injured from the bullet.
Early on, investigators determined whoever shot Emma knew the layout of her bedroom.
I noticed from being in the residence and coming outside the residence that the bottom of the windowsill appears to be almost identical in height to the top of her mattress. So if I'm standing outside the residence and I look and I see this window, and I have intimate knowledge of the residence, in other words, I've been inside, which I had been, and so I'm able to stand outside and determine that the bottom of this windowsill is in line with the top of her mattress. If I also, in fact, have intimate knowledge that Emma Walker sleeps on pillows, actually 3 to be exact, then her head's going to be in an elevated position. Does everybody follow me on that so far? Thank you. So if in fact I am standing in the back of the residence and I decide I want to shoot into this residence with the purpose of inflicting serious bodily injury, I would aim where the body is, which is exactly where the bullet hole was. That was the thing that struck me about the actual entrance of the bullet into the residence, is it was in a direct location or orientation where Emma Walker's head would be inside the residence.
Soon, the main suspect becomes a person seen in the area, wearing all black.
Upon your review, was there something unusual that you found captured on the Colson Drive video?
Yes,
And what was it?
an individual walking down the street,
What was he wearing?
dark clothing.
This outfit, similar to the one Riley Gall wore the night of the kidnapping. Soon, the investigation points to one person, the only person who would have motive to kill.
So what name did you give the police as to the person that you believe would cause harm to your daughter?
Riley Gall.
Investigators bring Riley in for questioning.
Tell me about this phone call you and Emma had. You said she was, how'd you say it? You said the call didn't go well. She said some cruel things or something?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
I was crying, and I was trying to get her to reason with me on being back together with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kept saying no. She said she didn't care about the relationship anymore. She said she cared about me, she loved me, but she didn't care to be with me anymore. And I just kept begging her to just hear me out. And I just kept calling her back because I was freaking out. I was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And she answered one time after she had hung up, and she told me if I called her again she was going to block me. Kept calling her. She answered again and she said, "You need to stop, you're crazy, you need to get a life."
Riley says at the time of Emma's murder, he was in his car, crying over the breakup.
I got back to campus around 1 a.m. and just sat in my car for about 2.5 hours, and just wept over.
Got back to campus, I'm sorry, around what time?
1:15.
Mm-hmm. Sat in the car for 2 hours?
2 or 3. I remember getting back in my dorm at 4:30 and my roommate being awake because he asked me why I was getting in so late.
Okay. So you went back into your dorm room?
At around 4:30. I sat in the parking lot in front of the athletic center where my car got searched earlier, the same spot, and just sat there for about 2 to 3 hours and just wept, just looking at pictures of us and stuff like that.
Okay.
I sent her a text too at 12:55. Just the last text that I decided I was going to send her because she obviously wasn't going to take me back.
What'd you send her? Do you remember?
Verbatim, no, but
Just in a nutshell.
I just told her how much I loved her and that I was sorry that she didn't want what we had anymore, and that I hoped that she was going to do great things in the future. And I told her I was going to leave her alone after that. And that's when 4:30 I fell asleep. I fell asleep around then, and that's when I woke up to people calling me about what had happened.
But almost in the same breath, he seemingly forgets Emma's name.
The girl, she texted me.
Which girl?
The one that passed away.
Okay. What's her name?
Emma.
Okay.
And Riley seems to know investigators are onto him.
Am I a suspect in her passing?
Should you be?
I'm asking if that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I could care less about you thinking I have a gun or anything, but I hope to God I'm not a suspect in her death.
Did I say you were?
I hope you don't think it, because I wouldn't hurt that girl I would hurt myself before I would hurt her, and that's what I've done.
Detectives dig deeper. finding out shocking information from Riley's friends. To start, his reaction to Emma's death is strange. Outwardly, he makes proclamations of love for Emma. On November 21st, 2016, he tweets, "That's my beautiful Emma. Rest easy now, sweetheart." 1 Corinthians 13:8. Be sure to remind God about our verse. I love you forever and always. He even updates his Twitter bio to say, living every day through Emma Walker. I love you, beautiful, and I know you're in a better place now. But those closest to him know something is off.
When is it that you learn of Emma Walker, of her death?
Monday morning, Noah called me.
And what does he tell you?
That Emma Walker had passed away, and there was a lot of confusion over the circumstances.
And what was your first thought?
That Riley was involved in some capacity. My first thought.
Before Emma's murder, Riley asks friends about removing fingerprints from a gun.
He asked me something about his paper, about westward expansion, and he also asked me for his roommate if I knew how to remove fingerprints from a gun, and I responded probably pretty violently. I told him, pardon my language, why the he would ask me something like that. I obviously have no idea, and to not ever ask me something like that again.
Did you question him about the source of that, or did he offer the roommate as a source of that question?
He said that the roommate had asked him that, and it was quote-unquote freaking him out as well. I thought it was weird, but I figured I'd ask you.
Have you ever asked Riley Gall how to remove smudges, fingerprints, or dirt from a gun?
I have not.
Any reason he'd say that?
He never asked me, but I mean, I can think of a few reasons he'd say it.
Okay. With regard to contact with Riley Gall, did you receive a Snapchat from Riley Gall after you were contacted by the police?
I did.
And what did Riley Gall request you to do in that Snapchat?
Did not talk to the police.
As it turns out, a gun is missing from someone very close to Riley.
When you get back in your car, what's the first thing that you do when you get in your car?
Started. Reached down the seat.
Why'd you reach under the seat?
Had
And what did you feel?
holster.
There's a gun in the holster.
No, sir.
And what did you think?
Problem.
And you are a carry concealed permit holder, right? You said that? When you say it was a problem, how big of a problem was it?
There was no bigger problem.
Okay.
For me.
And so what was your concern? Where was your mind?
They had to figure out what the gun was.
Okay, and what did you suspect?
Didn't suspect anything that second. I immediately contacted Riley.
Okay, and what did you say to Riley?
You know anything about my weapon?
And how did he respond?
That he did not.
And what did you do from there?
I contacted his mother.
Did you have a discussion with his mother?
I did.
Did you believe him that he didn't have the gun?
Up until that point, sir, I never had any reason to not believe Riley.
Looking closer at Riley's whereabouts at the time of Emma's death, investigators learn he showed up at his dorm with peculiar timing.
Any entries for Sunday the 20th?
No.
And what time, or any entries for early morning of Monday the 21st?
Yeah, 11:21, Monday the 21st, 4:30 a.m. in the morning.
As teenagers do, Riley begins to talk to his friends, revealing almost everything.
He was concerned so much about his safety that he had stolen his grandfather's gun, and he showed it to me, pulled it out from around the driver's side area.
Okay.
And
He had it concealed in the car somewhere?
yes.
Okay, and he pulled it out from where?
His driver's side area, I don't remember specifically to the side, maybe in the seat. It was on his side for sure.
Okay, and he pulls it out, and what does he do with the gun?
Shows it to me. It's just like kind of the story about how scared he was and whatever about these people.
Does he ever reveal to you anything about that? About the manner of death?
Yes.
What does he say to you about her manner of death?
That it was, I remember after he getting questioned about police, it was Tuesday, the day that we were meeting with him, and he was wanting to give it evidence. He told me that like the police had given him the information that she was shot in the house.
And what did you confront Riley with?
That he needed to turn himself in if he was really innocent, and if he was innocent, the system would show.
Okay.
And he declined.
And what was Riley trying to get you to do?
To get rid of everything that he had, the weapon.
Okay. And how did you respond when he was wanting to get rid of the gun? What actually happened between you and Riley?
I was infuriated. I couldn't believe that he believed that he could get rid of the weapon as a means of proving innocence instead of just coming to the court system or coming to the authorities. Because I knew that if he truly was innocent, the court system would show it, and I heard enough from Riley to know how it was.
That's when he actually brought it up at first at his house. He did about getting rid of the gun, just something about throwing it into a river.
Okay. And what did you advise him of that?
That was when I pretty much just didn't get exactly what was going on.
When is it that you decide you need to go to the police?
Monday night.
Okay.
I had a conversation at his house and then the phone calls afterwards.
And why is it that you decide you got to go to the police?
Because it was obvious what had happened.
Riley texts his friends about all of this too. At 12:08 a.m. on November 22nd, 2016, Riley texts his friend Alex. "Delete these texts after I send this next one to you, please." Alex replies, "Okay, I got you." Riley asks, "Why did you tell him about the gun? They think I shot her because of it. Please text me back." Alex answers a few minutes later, writing, "If you didn't do anything, you have nothing to hide, bro. And I figured you might use it to kill yourself after all this happened. I'm worried about you. Dude, why did you tell me you were trying to get rid of the gun? And you lied and said you already gave it back to your grandpa, and then your mom came outside and said she couldn't find it anywhere." Riley texts back saying, "They didn't know I gave it back. I didn't lie. Just God, please promise me, if any cop asks you any more questions, just tell him you're not willing to answer because you can't get in any trouble." But Riley's friends do speak with police and agree to be part of a sting operation.
Okay. Had Alan Merritt, the sheriff's department, given you some recording devices at this point?
Yeah, we played prior to leaving his house, so yes.
Okay. And did you turn those recording devices on?
Yes, sir.
And so you and Noah are there at the house. You talk to Riley outside. Does Riley eventually make his way inside?
Yeah. Me and I go into bed after that. He told me to come outside, and we got there, and I talked to him in his car, and then he went inside again.
Okay. And all of this is recorded?
Yes.
I can't even be upset over her because I'm probably going to get arrested in the next couple of days. But I understand he told you about the gun. I don't know who shot him. I put that on my life. I wouldn't lie to you right here, right now. I don't know who did. I would never hurt her a day in my life. I had that gun because I was scared about what happened. I know you don't believe me. You probably don't either. Whatever. I'm telling you. What I'm saying is if I have to go to court in front of a grand jury or anything and you have to testify, or if the cops come and talk to you again, whenever you talk to them, just be like, you were too afraid to tell them that you were on acid because you thought you were going to get in trouble.
No, that's true. I would never mention that,
Yeah, and if anything about that gun, just say, I must have misunderstood or something because I was tripping balls. I really don't know what was going on. He was just like, Riley was just complaining to me about some stuff. I guess I thought I heard something about a gun, and his grandfather thinking that he took it,
Mm-hmm. Well, and that I was scared as detectives would come and talk to me.
Yeah. just as long as you tell them that if you tell them you're on LSD, you were drunk, and you were high, your mind was altered, whatever statement you give them wasn't a straightforward answer. Because your mind wasn't...
Even if it was, they can't like convict you based on that, right?
No, if they could, they would have arrested me already.
But I'm trusting you guys, like, with my life, because I mean, this is 70 years in jail if I get convicted of something I didn't do. And are you busy right now? Like, are you about to do anything?
Not really.
It was not really.
Actually, we can go over later, but
How much later?
I don't know, whenever I hit her up.
Well, can we go to the bluffs? Because I need to get rid of the gun.
At the bluff?
I'm gonna throw it into the water. They'll never find it in the river.
The video goes dark, but you can still hear this chilling exchange.
They don't have my fingerprints in any database.
Hey, dude, bro, you got arrested.
Yeah, but they didn't print me. Oh my god. What? This is a real gun.
And suddenly...
Step out of the vehicle! Raise your hands up! Hands up all the way! Put the phone down! Put the phone down!
Bro.
Hands up all the way! Turn!
I don't know what we're about to do.
Walk back! Walk back to my boys! Do it now! Walk back! Walk back!
Bro.
Walk back!
Bro, I don't know what we're about to do.
Riley Gall is arrested on November 22nd, 2016, caught literally red-handed as he's trying to dispose of the murder weapon. Riley faces multiple charges, including first-degree premeditated murder, first-degree felony murder, especially aggravated stalking, tampering with evidence, and reckless endangerment. At trial, Riley enters a plea of guilty on the reckless endangerment charge, something his defense puts forth to the jury to prove his innocence. But it doesn't work. In just under 4 hours, a jury returns their verdict.
Count one, the first defined offense, charging the defendant with first-degree murder. Did the jury reach a verdict?
Yes, we did.
What is your verdict?
Guilty.
And count 7, charging the defendant with the charged offense of felony murder. Did the jury reach a verdict?
We did.
What is your verdict?
Guilty.
Riley Gall is found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. He will be eligible for parole in 2067. A teenage love affair fractured, not only by heartbreak, but the ultimate betrayal, snuffing out the bright light of a young life far before its time. This has been Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie.